Hello, everyone, and welcome back to NFL Weekly Picks with your boy B Buck, Mr. Tom Ria Sports. And we're in the conference championship of the 2025-26 season. Mr. Tom, how you doing, brother? How you feeling?
Mr. Buck, good to see you. The people of the world, good to see you. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Can't complain. Excited for these games. Wish it was a few other teams that would have made it this far, but hey, that's the way of football. That's what makes it so exciting. And we have a couple good ones here, man. We have a couple good ones. I feel like people are kind of overlooking one of them, which we're gonna touch on. But yeah, that's about it. We'll go over that. A couple odds for the whole winner of the Super Bowl. I hate to do it, and I know we talked about it briefly before the video, but we got to start with a quick recap of last week. Which, guys, I'm being a little tough on ourselves because you know how we do here. We strive for perfection, but it wasn't our best week. I feel like it wasn't the best week for a lot of people for whatever reason I saw. I went 4 of 12. Blah. 1 of 4 on the point spread, 2 of 4 on the over under, 1 of 4 on the money line, which is almost impossible to do, but I did it so bad that it happened. Um, Mr. Tom 5 of 12, but you're looking at it here, guys, on the screen. You might want to stat check us on this one because we had so many different picks last week, Tom, that I'm very surprised that we finished when we do good, we finish close to each other. When we do bad, we finish close to each other. It's pretty crazy. But I would have thought, one of us with how many different picks we had would have done very good, especially if the other did bad. But Tom, 5 of 12, 2 of 4 on the point spread, 0 of 4 on the over under, 3 of 4 on the money line. Tom did call 3 of the 4 games outright for you guys. So if you wanted winners, Tom was right this week. It's funny too, because I remember last week's video, you were like, oh, Buck has the hot hand. And I was like, every week's different. Congratulations, Tom. This last week, you definitely had the hot hand, brother. Calling 3 of those 4. And if CJ Stroud didn't suck, you might have went 4 of 4. So
yeah, it's something, not our strongest week. It's funny. We're two peas in a pod. We both thought for sure that one of us would be good, one of us would be bad, and we ended up similar. But yeah, it was a tough week. It was an interesting weekend. A lot of close games. And then, one bad game, so to speak. But, yeah, it is what it is, man. It's the playoffs. So I'm happy with the result. Or I'm not happy with the result, but I'm not, devastated by it or any means. This is a tough time of year. There's not as many games. And I'm kind of excited to see how this weekend plays out because I think these matchups are better than what people think as well. You kind of alluded to that. We'll get into it. But I'm excited to see what happens on Sunday for sure.
we're going to have to try and come back this week for sure, for us and you guys and everyone watching around the world. NFL Weekly Picks, we're diving into it. Round 3 already. Ding, ding. Conference Championship. You ready to do these picks, Mr. Tom, before I get into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in.
All right, guys. Sunday. We're recording this on Wednesday night, like we always do. Oh, and also, real quick, want to throw this out. Congratulations to the contest winner who received his money. Now I guess we can say it, and I think we've said it a few times this year, which is the funny part. Very rarely, the winner got his money. Congratulations! Thank you for being a loyal watcher of the show. The answer to the trivia question, which game did we miss? Out of every game we picked this entire year, this whole season, the regular season, we missed one. It was the Washington Commanders, Green Bay Packers, I believe week 2.
Week 2, Thursday night football.
Thursday night game.
It's such a funny story, too, because it wasn't for any reason. I mean, I was traveling for work. You were busy doing something. I remember you just texted me. I think it was that night you texted me and was like, yo, we didn't even pick tonight's game. And I was like, oh, crap. And only time all season it happened. So shout out to, we could say his name, right? Count Doku.
Yeah.
He was the guy who won, and we were able to get him his money. And if he's watching, we appreciate you, man. But yeah, that was a funny story, and it was really cool doing that. And we're gonna look to do more of these. But we got to figure out an easier way to do it. So if anyone's got any tips or have done giveaways or seen other people do them in the past, we're all ears, right? Put it in the comments because the YouTube was hiding all the comments. We were going through the process. It was it was such a hassle trying to actually get our winner his money, but we did get it to him. So that's the best part about it. He got his $150, and we want to do more of this. So if anyone's got any ideas, good ways to do contests, whatever, we're all ears, and especially next season, we're going to do many, many more. So I'm going to look through it in the offseason, too, of ways that we can go about this and get more interactive with the fans and stuff.
We don't do too many giveaways. We're a pretty new channel here with a newer growing, but it's a fast, loyal growing. We're men of our word. You know what I mean? We when we say something, we do it. I know Tom was adamant on the giveaway and he loves the fans. Huge shout out to this man right here because he really followed through with it, really wanted to get this guy his prize money. And you know what, guys? Thinking about it in hindsight, it was a pretty tough question. You had to really watch the show or follow us to know the answer. I already have, and we're going to pick the Super Bowl. Maybe after next week, we might have a video come out next week. We'll talk about that. I might already have the next trivia question to win money, and it'll be a good one. If you, and what do you think about this, Tom? If you get the actual score of the Super Bowl, so comment away, right, maybe we'll do another giveaway or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's cool. Let's talk about that offline because I like it. I like it. Anyway, we can get people to comment and interact, and we'll do our own score predictions too, right? And we'll see how far we
for
are
sure.
as well. When we get to that point, maybe that'll be next week's video because we're going to obviously have a week in between, so we can discuss that.
Sure.
But I love it, man. Yeah, let's do it. I love these giveaways. I love giving back to people in any facet, so that'd be some way that's fun and gets everyone involved. I'm all for it. You know that.
All right, guys. We're recording this on Wednesday night before the weekend. This weekend, we're down to the last two games, the conference championship. New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos go at it for the AFC championship, the AFC title. Two teams that, we can't be too surprised that they made it this far. The perennial favorites of the AFC. That wasn't as stacked as the NFC this year. Now they're meeting in Denver. They got through the Bills. Shout out to them. It sucks about Bo Nix and the injury. It was actually pretty wild, pretty out of the blue. As far as the Patriots, man, oh man, they keep rolling. Vrabel, that defense looked terrific last week. Shout out to that defense who has kind of been slept on for how good the offense has been all year. Tom called it, guys. Tom called it in the beginning of the season. When the Patriots were maybe, I'd love to see what the answer was. Probably favored to win 5 games this year. Excuse me. And when Tom picked the Patriots to make the playoffs, here's the proof in the pudding right here that we did this before week 1. He picked Maria's playoff picks, the Patriots right there. I did not pick them because when he picked the Patriots, my eyebrows raised. I was kind of like, oh, it's a crazy pick. Then he made his reasoning for it, and I always loved Vrabel. Tom loved Vrabel. Look at where they are now, guys, in the AFC Championship game, favorited to win because of the, Bo Nix and obviously the Patriots playing good in their own right, but just wanted to give Tom his flowers there that they made it this far. He was the only one I know out of all my football friends who called them making it this far, having this successful of a season. And if they win the Super Bowl, win this game, go to the Super Bowl, and then possibly even win it, this man right here called it first, and that would be crazy. You know what I mean? Because I don't think many people saw that coming this year. But we have to pick this week, one game at a time. New England Patriots at the Broncos. Bo Nix out indefinitely with the injury. Stidham, the Raiders' old backup. Now he's the Broncos' backup, filling in for him, who's not that bad. I saw a bunch of highlights when he played the 49ers a few years ago and threw for like 3-4 touchdowns. He's a capable QB. Definitely better than the Vikings backup, whoever the heck that bum was this year. So we have Stidham take on the Patriots saying, guys, you would think if this line was a straight giveaway, like Patriots win 10 times out of 10, no matter what, they might be heavily favorited, but let's not sleep on the Broncos defense. Let's not sleep on Sean Payton, who, me and Tom have been saying all year, another great coach. It's going to be the battle of the minds over here with the two great coaches in the AFC. And the odds, the money line odd numbers really reflect that Broncos still have a puncher's chance in this. They really do. It's at home. That defense is going to be looking to turn up. Careful of the weather. There's a huge winter storm throughout the country this week. So I don't know if it reaches as far as Denver, but the weather could be a factor. When I look at this game, something that jumped off the page to me, and I didn't have the best of week last week. I'm going to try and make up for it this week. Go with my gut. First things first, I love the way these two defenses played. I know they're in a shootout with the Bills, but that's a different story. Patriots, that game could have been 50-50 if there wasn't so many turnovers. I like both these defenses. I'm actually taking an under. And also, guys, let's not forget, when a backup QB comes in, I don't know if it's really the same as the starter, so maybe that's another reason why could be a little less scoring, especially going up against a daunting Patriots defense. So I like the under in that one. With all that said, I try and be as unbiased as I can in these videos, try and give my reasoning for both teams, why I like them and dislike them. I do think the Patriots squeak this one out. And if they don't, oh man, this is going to be a story to tell. I love to see how the Broncos get it done. I'm taking the Patriots to win. I'm taking the under. And as far as the point spread, just for snaps and giggles over here, I'm going to give the Broncos the 5.5. I feel like it's a little high for a championship game. I know the injury's there. You have to think, guys, the world knows about the injury. All the money is going to come flying in, you know what I mean, on the Patriots or whatever. I'm sure they're going to be heavy favorites. Do not sleep on that defense and Sean Payton and the team itself being as successful as it was this year. That's my reasoning for giving the Broncos the 5.5. What do you think, Mr. Tom?
Dude, I'm with you. I agree with everything. I think Stidham is very capable. I don't think he's great. I was watching Jordan Palmer this morning. Not sure if anyone's familiar with him, but QB guy, Carson Palmer's brother, I believe. But he was talking about how Stidham earned the backup job when Brady was there, when he got drafted by the Patriots, because he learned the offense fast and he was capable of making the throws and stuff. You just mentioned the game he started with the Raiders, albeit an end of season game, whatever, a couple of years ago. My point being, in Denver with Sean Payton as a coach, one of the best offensive minds the game's ever seen, right? They're going to be ready. They are going to be ready. And what I loved last week was when Bo Nix was, like you said, it was kind of unexpected. But Peyton came back out right in the press conference and was just like, look, Bo Nix is out. Stidham's our guy. We're not making excuses. We're ready, right? We're going to be ready. We're going to be prepared. And I love that. It wasn't anything oh, Bo's out. It's all this sob story. It was hey, next man up. We're ready to go, right? And that's why Sean Payton's a Hall of Fame coach, right? Because of shit like that. I think they're going to be okay. I'm not even at a point where I'd be shocked if Denver won this game. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not going to pick them to. I'll say that much. I'm going to take the Patriots money line, but I am taking Denver plus 5.5, and I am taking the under. I think in situations like this, well-coached teams, and Broncos, the defense hasn't played great, especially last week against Buffalo, but again, that's Josh Allen. Overall, they still have capable and good defenders and a good defense, and the Patriots' O-line is definitely vulnerable. I know they went against a mammoth in the Texans last week, but Chargers also got home to Drake May quite a bit, and Drake May can be a little bit of a statue in the pocket at times. I think their defense is going to come to play in Denver, and maybe they'll fizzle out in the second half of the game because perhaps their offense isn't doing anything and they're on the field for a long time. But I think at least in the first half, it's going to be a really tight, lower scoring game. So I like the under. I like Denver plus 5.5, and if that number goes up 6 or 7, then I love it. But ultimately, I'm going to take Patriots to win money line wise. I think they do. They do find a way to prevail. They're also extremely well coached and disciplined when Vrabel, and I think just the quarterback disparity will be just enough. But I wouldn't be shocked if we get ourselves a 21-17 type of win for New England, right, or something around that scoreline.
Old school, man. Old school. I love two things you said right there. One, usually underdogs, people wait till last minute to bet on the game. So, guys, if you're betting money on any of these picks or the games itself, you could possibly wait, like Tom said, and that number might jump up to higher than 5.5. Or, if you want to take the Broncos outright, that number will 100% go up closer to Sunday afternoon. All right, guys. Oh, and then also the second part was you called the Chargers getting to Drake May, and then you said now they have to take on the Houston Texans. Nightmare of a defensive line. Come on, they got to him, man. They got to him. So good point. Now they have a third defense in a row. Great defense to take on. That sucks.
Yep.
Making points over here for the Broncos. There you go, guys. All right, 6 p.m. game is for the NFC Championship. The LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. I think we might have all seen this coming when they played each other, and I forget when it was, but it was a hell of a game. I think it was that Thursday night game where it went to double. It was double overtime. It was right down to the wire. And I forget how their first meeting went, but me and Tom did call the Seahawks sneaking that second one out. Oh, gosh, I wish I could remember where it was. But nevertheless, two teams that match up incredibly well. An amazing defense in Seattle, and they're at home taking on what could be one of the best offenses, definitely in the NFC, maybe in the whole NFL this year. arguably MVP, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Williams over there. I think Charbonnet might have got hurt for the Seahawks, so keep an eye on that. Yeah, he kind of went down. But hey, I mean, last week I know it was against the Niners defense, but Seahawks put up a lot of points as well. So this could be another great down to the wire, very good game. I almost see this line being a little disrespectful, to tell you the truth. I don't know too much to say besides two stacked rosters. Don't sleep on Shaheed, special teams specialist for the Seahawks, helping them out huge since they picked him up. Rams were favored basically all year, and now here they are as the underdogs in the AFC Championship game. That's how good this game is. It's not too much to say besides I'm surprised it's not just like a straight up pick 'em. It almost kind of is money line wise just because of that. And I know someone commented it last week. They're like, why you keep giving the dogs the points? Hey, it might have not have worked last week, but it's helped us out a lot this season. And the older I get, the more I see the value and stuff like that. This game in its own right, I can see just being very close unless something crazy happens. So I'm giving the Rams the 2.5. If you can buy points, make it 5. That's even better. Um, with that said, and this has nothing to do with the Seahawks or the Rams, how I feel about either team, I think both of them are extremely talented. I know it's in Seattle, probably the best place for the Seahawks to play, the toughest place for any opponent to play in the entire NFL. But something about this game, and this is just purely a gut instinct, it's nothing to do with the mind or statistics. Guys, I'm taking the freaking Rams to upset the Seahawks in Seattle on the road. This is the time. And it's crazy because both these teams, no matter who wins, it's not a surprise. And whoever loses is going to be a surprise. Only one can win. You know what I mean? There's no way this game can go to tie. You have to pick one. I feel like the Rams have the firepower, the momentum, a good coach to do it. Either one of these teams, it could be a toss-up. Let's hope by the end they only win by 3. You know what I mean? And if you can take 1 point, you win either way. As far as over under 46.5 being the game total, after what I saw last week from both these teams, I'm actually going over in this one. Like I said, I wish I could remember what their first meeting was like, but the last game went very high scoring into overtime. Seahawks sneaked it out. Rams, one of the best offenses in the league. Seahawks, very capable. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I know the Rams are going to have to put up points to win this one. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, all right, ready? I'm zagging all the way here.
You're gonna mess up your own Super Bowl pick?
For us to see who really comes out on top after this weekend, since we were aligned with the Broncos. Totally different here. Now let me give you some rationale. So they played twice, obviously, because they're in division. Your 2 favorite teams.
Oh.
And the first game, remember Darnold threw 4 interceptions in LA. And they nearly won that game. It came down to a last-second field goal, and Myers missed a 60-yarder, and they lost, right? That was earlier in the season. They played again in I think it was week 15, because it was in the fantasy playoffs, and I remember I had JSN going. And the Rams were up big at half, and then the Seahawks made a huge second-half comeback, won the game on a 2-point conversion in Seattle, right? So my point in that is I don't think Seattle's played their best game yet against the Rams. Not the way they played last week, right? The way they played against the Niners last week was maybe their best played game of the season. Now, they also played a really good game against the Niners a few weeks ago, right, in that week 18 game or whatever, so for the 1 seed. It's such an interesting game to pick. It really can go either way. But I think in Seattle, I think that Mike McDonald I love what he's doing there, and defensively the way he's coaching. Obviously, McVay's great too, but you saw him have some struggles last week against a lesser talented Bears defense, right? The Bears defense is not the Seahawks defense. We all know that. And now this is the Rams' 3rd game on the road in a row, which is always tough. I've seen it done with my Giants, but not many teams are capable of doing it. I'm going to take Seattle. I think Seattle's ready for it. I think it's their moment. I think they got to come out and just play stout defense. The way the Rams start the game, I think, will be important. If the Rams go down the field, kind of score, shut the crowd up, I'll be a little nervous as a Seattle bettor, right? Like, oh no, okay, what's going to happen? But if Seattle can get some stops, 3 and outs, home to field goals, whatever, and Darnold is able to make the throws he needs to make, I like Seattle minus 2.5 here. Charbonnet not being in the lineup is a big deal, but I've been saying it for the last 2 years. Get Kenneth Walker to ball more. They're always worried about him getting hurt. That guy is so talented. You're in the freaking NFC title game. Run him till the wheels fall off. Who cares, right? So I like Seattle -2.5. I like the under here. I just think it's nut crunching time, and I think there's going to be well-played defense on both sides. And I think Seattle pulls it out. And we're going to see a Sam Darnold versus Drake May potential Super Bowl, which is kind of crazy to think about. And I'm zagging even harder because I picked the Rams Broncos to be in the Super Bowl before the playoffs started. And I could ride with that pick, but something's just telling me Seattle has something a little bit special about them this year. So we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went totally in the other way. It's also kind of fun just to zag against you for one game. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm biased because of that, but ultimately I think Seattle's able to find a way to win the game. But it should be a really, really good game. And I wanted to correct you. This started at 6:30. I think you said 6. Game starts at 6:30 for anybody watching. 6:30 on Fox.
Dude, great intricate analysis on that one. Both of us saw it very differently. And you know what? All of America, all the world might see it a little differently. It's a true pick'em, and two of the best teams in the NFC meeting up in their rightful spots in the NFC Championship game. Down here in the bottom, I mean, I want to talk about two other things real quick before we do get down to this, like a quick look at the Super Bowl odds and how you feel about them. How did you feel about Caleb Williams and the Bears? And then how did you feel about what was the other one we were just talking about? Well, first of all, how did you feel about Caleb Williams and the Bears and their whole season in general?
Yeah, well, Bears, similar to Patriots, they were both two teams I picked to make the playoffs this year. Just felt new coach, right? Like new system, right? Just fresh energy, all that stuff. A little bit of an easier schedule. So I'm a big Caleb guy. I loved him in college. I think he's got some of, if not the best arm talent in the NFL. I've been preaching that for the last 2 years, even despite them not being great last year. He's got to fix some of the easy stuff, though, right? Like, that's the weird thing about Caleb is he makes these insane clutch throws. He's done it the last few weeks and in the playoffs, which has been cool. I mean, that touchdown was insane.
Sick,
Cole Kmet to bring it overtime was just absurd. But he still's, like, his completion percentage is in the 50s. Like, I just need to see a little bit more of him making the easier stuff easy, right? Versus, like, because he can do all the hard stuff. And I think that'll come, right? I think that'll come with development and more time and with Ben Johnson and working with him. And they're in a good place. They are in a good place. I do think they overperformed a little bit, even despite me picking them to make the playoffs. Getting to the division round and nearly a conference title game was super impressive. And we'll see what they do in the offseason. But I'm a Caleb guy. I think Bears are in really, really good hands if he continues to develop, and I think he will. There's no reason to believe he won't, but he's just got to fix some of the fundamentals slightly, right? Just some of the easier throws, keep his feet and his arm aligned, right? The fundamental stuff, I think will take him really, really far. But that should be what they work on all offseason. Their O-line looks like it's pretty darn good. They got a solid run game. I think Ben Johnson said there needs to be a little more chemistry with the receivers. I could agree with that. Something weird about DJ Moore. I've never been like a big DJ Moore guy. I don't know. Like, he just seems like his head's not always in the game, right? Even that interception, I don't know if you watched it. I know you had work on Sunday, but that interception in overtime, like, it wasn't a great throw. It wasn't the best decision, but, like, you could see Caleb was trusting more to, like, kind of finish his route and break towards the ball, and he kind of just stopped as Caleb threw it. It was the worst timing. And then the defender, I think it was Cam Curl, made the play that you kind of expected Moore to make, right, where he ran over, dove for it, made the play. Like, if Moore just finishes his route, he would have at least probably broke it up, right, and that prevented an interception, and their season might even be still going right now. So I think they got to answer some questions there at receiver, maybe get someone in the draft or free agency. But ultimately, if you're a Bears fan, this has got to be the most excited you've been in a long time. You got a great quarterback, I think, good running game. Defense with Dennis Allen looked pretty darn good when it mattered, so give him respect for that. And I expect them to be just as good next year as long as they don't lose anybody to injury or make a bunch of drastic changes in the offseason. What about you? Like, I know you watched a lot of Caleb this year. We talked about him a bit. Kind of curious if you're up on him and up on the Bears.
It's funny you say, and you touched on a lot of things I was thinking as well when you even added in some new ones that I completely agree with. Is first of all, when I think of the Bears and Caleb Williams, for their first year being together, Ben Johnson coming in, kind of implementing a new regime with the Bears, and them getting as far as they did, more time together for Caleb and him, especially, and the team is going to be tremendous. You know what I mean? If they can do this in year one together, imagine year two, year three, especially bringing in new pieces. And then with that said, because they go hand in hand, I love what Tom just said. This man Caleb, when he's not looking, throws it behind his back 100 yards. He throws a touchdown. And then on a quick, easy play action slant, it's almost like he doesn't want to do it. He needs to settle down. He needs to trust. The entire team needs to trust, but Caleb's the catalyst of that for that offense. Trust the play, trust the game plan, trust what you worked on in practice. You know what I mean? If it's not there, just throw it away. You don't have to make a play out of it, but you need to do the small, simple things first. You know what I mean? That needs to be second nature to him. And then then if he needs to do a Hail Mary or a trick play or bullet a ball in real quick, deep, then he can do that. He's shown he's very capable of that. So I think they're sitting pretty. Love what you said about Moore. He's had very on and off years. That's not a good sign from your number one. They have an amazing tight end coming up. If they can keep Komet, more power too. That's great. But they have a real tight end one coming up. Amazing for the Bears. Odunze, you could say he had the same, if not better season than Emeka Ibuka over in Buccaneers. Great receiver. Decide what you want to do with Moore. Get more chemistry going with Johnson and Caleb. Let him trust the playbook. Let him do the small, simple stuff better. Caleb will keep getting better. I think he's shown now that he's rising to the top, finally revealing his potential. And then one or two more defensive pieces. And the Bears are very, very dangerous. 10, 11, 12, 13 win team going forward if they can keep all the pieces and stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree. That division will be fun, and Caleb's fun to watch, man. Like he does some things. Like we're obviously being a little hard on him, but giving him his props at the same time. He had a play. I think it was an incomplete pass, but play last week, and if you watch, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He was going right, and he did like this weird like sidearm slingshot, and he threw a fucking laser down the sideline. It wasn't a great throw. I think it almost got picked, but like just the fact that he made that throw, I was like, holy cow! Like how many guys in the league can do that, right? Like he does some things, and he's got great speed. He can use his legs. And he clearly wants to win. And the cold didn't affect him. There's all these narratives that were put out about him before he got drafted and stuff about how he's a West Coast guy and can't play in cold weather and doesn't love the game enough. I watched this man screaming on the sidelines. His heart's in it. His mind's in it. So I think they're in good hands, and it'll be fun to watch them. But, yeah, man, I think that whole division's got a lot to go. I think one thing I wanted to touch on, too, since we have some extra time and appreciate everyone staying with us too, other than just going with our picks, is I think we should talk a little bit about just the coaching carousel right now. There's been so much that's gone on. I think this has been the most intriguing coaching carousel ever, right? I mean, think about it, dude. Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Sean McDermott all get fired in the same year, right? Like Bills, Ravens, Steelers jobs open up, and then all the other jobs that are available and were available before some of the vacancies got filled. But yeah, man, like, this has been nuts, right? Like, this has been nuts. And then I don't know if you saw this, but Mike McDaniel just went to the Chargers.
Yeah, is that official?
That's a huge move with our boy Harbaugh, right? Like, that's a huge move. So I'm super excited. I'm kind of curious your thoughts on that. Your guy who was with you in the Niners for a while, right, McDaniel? So kind of curious what you think about that move for the Chargers and what that'll do for, like, Herbert and the offense.
It's funny because Harbaugh brought in a lot of ex-Niners when he became head coach. I think Navarro Bowman's there. I know Deshaun Goldson was there for a little bit. He gave our boy why am I forgetting his name? It wasn't Fournette. What's the dude the running back? He gave our boy his second chance when everyone said he wouldn't play. He was on the Broncos this year, and he got hurt again. The running back who tore his ACL, both ACLs. When he came into the Chargers, he gave him a chance, and he played good. It was the starting. J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, it's funny, man. Harbaugh's a really loyal, great dude. Because look at this. He's bringing in his old offensive coordinator, a lot of ex-old players, you know what I mean? Things that he trusts. He's almost trying to implement the way he played back in 2012, 2013 in today's NFL. And hey, got him to the playoffs, you know what I mean? They just got to get over the hump. I think bringing McDaniel's one of the better offensive minds, not a great head coach, but a great offensive coordinator mind into the Chargers is going to help them out tremendously, especially since Harbaugh likes to run the ball, get the creativeness of both them together. They have the pieces. Just need to do something about that O line, and maybe see what goes on with Hampton. As long as they have a solid RB1, they'll be all right because they have a plethora of receivers over there too. Maybe that's almost a bad thing, you know what I mean, having too many receivers. And their defense is pretty stacked. Their defense has been good for a while now, if you think about it. So I think the Chargers are in a good position. I think the
I
Chargers are
agree.
in a good
And it's
position.
funny, the O line. I mean, they're going to get Alt and Slater back, and that's going to change everything. Those are two of the best tackles in the league, right? The thing is, their interior is rough, though. Bradley Bozeman was maybe the worst center in the NFL. Becton didn't have a great season. So they got to fix the interior. I'm with you there. But, yeah, I echo everything you said. I think that's a really big pickup for them, and if everything goes right, that team should be right back in the playoffs next year and probably much, much better. So hopefully Herbert's healthy. And now, I mean, if they're there and things are clicking, and Herbert's already out of excuses as it is, but now it's even worse, right? If you can't win with an offensive genius, so to speak, leading you, and then along with what Harbaugh brings in the defense, I think the defense might take a step back because it seems like Minter, the DC, is probably going to be gone. You might get a head coach
few of
job
them
in
are old
Baltimore.
too. Like, you know,
Baltimore,
Mac
right?
and stuff. Yeah, like, you know, I mean, a few of the pieces are getting old. There might be a few trades, but that could be a good thing. Maybe they bring in new blood or a free agent.
We'll see. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. But the other one's obviously the other big fish. We talked a little bit about Harbaugh last week. Now it's official, and I don't know if you saw, but he's already, as of today, like I was reading reports, they got rid of a bunch of coaches that were around. Kevin Abrams was a guy who was with the Giants for like the last 25 years. If anyone knows, he's gone now, right? So Harbaugh came in, and he's immediately like, hey, we're trimming the fat, get out of here kind of thing, and we're all for it. Trust me, Giants fans are all excited. So that's one. Your boy Saleh went to the Titans.
Yes.
That was interesting. I wonder who they're going to bring in as OC. I know they want Dable, but Dable wants the Bills job. So curious what your thoughts are with that as your boy Saleh gets another crack at it.
It's funny. There's so much to touch on. As far as the Titans with Saleh, great pickup. You see what he's done a few times with the defensive coordinator, other head coaching jobs. I think Cam Ward and basically that whole offense is on the come up. They have potential. Now they have another great, reliable veteran head coach now. I think with him being there, they're going to work on that defense. You know what I mean? Having a defensive first head coach, that's awesome for the Titans. So they'll pick up, especially in the division where now they kind of do need to step it up. You know, that whole division's kind of stacked coming out of this year. But with Cam Ward there, solid, that's a step in the right direction for sure. And as far as the Giants, I showed you that we both saw that one video of him arriving in the facility. Everyone's greeting him. It just hit me today. I was just thinking about it on my way to work. Man, they have a Super Bowl winning coach again. And I feel like that's huge. You know what I mean? Tom Coughlin got it done. He was a no-nonsense, serious dude, made the team get together, and they're stacked pieces-wise. If they can get Scottaboo back, Dart keep doing his thing, their defensive line is good. Right there, that's all you really need. Work on the special teams, maybe one or two other pieces. They have a Super Bowl winning freaking head coach in New York now, and that's going to turn things around. That's huge, man. He knows what it takes.
They're going to be I'll tell you now, for everyone who's curious, when we get to that point, as far as picking future playoffs next year, all that, I'm likely going to be choosing the Giants because of what you just said. Their schedule is going to be easier, right? It's still going to be hard. We are going to have tough matchups. I've seen who the matchups were for this year. I don't know off the top of my head, but there was some couple layups, not many. But there's no reason this Giants team can't win 9 or 10 games next year. To be true, I mean, they almost won 8 this year, right? I mean, how many games did we blow? Right, I can name off the top of my head the Bears, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Packers game, right? Like there was all these games that were very winnable that we ended up losing. So, I think Giants are in for a really, really good turnaround next year. And then the other ones, the Dolphins brought in Hafley, which makes sense considering they brought in a Packers guy as a GM. We'll see. I mean, they got a lot of cap issues. They got to figure out the Tua situation and who they're going to play at quarterback, but you never know. Could get some juice in there because of it. Stefanski with the Falcons, I thought that was a good move. Not a great move, but a decent move. See what they do at quarterback.
They have pieces. The Falcons have pieces, man. That's not a bad head coaching vacancy.
Yeah.